like the bumper snacks, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is
The Jewish
how we
food
do
is
things
hard.
on the dignity of difference. We always have bumper.
Usually it's twisties for the Aussies. And now it's bumper.
Once you go bumper, you can't go back.
It's true.
Can't go
It's
back.
true, you can't go back.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, welcome to the dignity of difference. I think for those that might not know you or know, you have an Instagram account that you created called Jack's Jewish Journey, and you're documenting your journey through conversion, Orthodox conversion. And what I think would be an interesting place to start is, I wonder, before you moved to Melbourne, because you grew up in a small country town, what was your knowledge or perception of Jews or Judaism growing up,
Yeah.
if any?
To be honest, like absolutely nothing. You'd learn about it at school and
To
in
what
history.
extent did you learn at school? Like,
The Holocaust and, to be honest, that's about
probably
it.
it.
Like, there's not much else exposed, especially so far north. Like, all you get taught is the basic curriculum, and then it's how many cows you look after and how many chickens you raise. Like, that was kind of like the storyline of life. But from a Jewish perspective, absolutely nothing. Like, I knew from a looks-wise, maybe, and then, like I said, the history, but nothing else.
I guess it's funny as well because when I met Jack, his perception of Jews was like the Adas, like, the Jews that you see in Rip and Lee, and he thought that that's what Jews looked like. So when he found out that I was Jewish, he was kind of almost shocked.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like, what? You don't look Jewish.
That's true, because you just don't hear about it. Like, it's not a topic of conversation. Like, it's so foreign from up there. But yeah.
And was your family religious at all? Did you come from a religious background?
No, I wouldn't say religious, but like the traditional Aussie Christmas, Easter, and that's about it. Yeah, Christian. But other than that, I went to a Christian primary school or a Catholic primary school, but my level of religiousness was pretty much nothing, I would say. But yeah.
Any Jews that you saw in your town, like in person, or was it just something that you saw?
No, like never. Like, if there was a Jewish person in the country town, like, it would be the talk of the town. Like, no one would know what's going on. Like, who are these people?
Right.
But
Is there Chabad there?
no Chabad. Maybe Chabad Rara.
I thought about bringing them.
Maybe Rara, but no, absolutely zero. But yeah.
So what made you decide to move to Melbourne then?
I was such a kind of curious kid, and in the country there's near to none opportunity, I would say. That's probably the main thing. It kind of got to the point. Great childhood, like living up on the Murray, speedboats, fishing, swimming. You were never home, but it gets to a stage where you get sick of it, I guess, is probably the word for it. But everyone starts to, at that 15, 16, 17-year-old age, you're on to the next thing, like, where's the next opportunity? But a lot of people back home either like go into a trade or go into a farm or move to, like, Bendigo's close by. They might go to a university there, but I don't know, I was kind of after something a little bit different, I guess, than just the standard become a tradesman, I guess. And then I was pretty heavily involved in my sport, like cricket, so that was kind of the main opportunity that I wanted to get. So I thought, if there's not, I may as well go all in instead of moving to the next country town to see if there's an opportunity there. So it was just opportunity would be the main thing, I would say.
Do most people move to another town at
pretty
age?
much, yeah. And if you don't, it's kind of like,
You don't want to be a farmer.
That's right. Like, you're just going to be stuck to the country life. Nothing bad about a country life, but like,
Not everyone.
at that age, you kind of want to, kind of find yourself and see where you want to fit in and find your passion and jobs, because it's just not down there or up there, should I say.
Was Melbourne your first choice?
Yeah, it's kind of the only choice, I guess. Everyone's coming to Melbourne. We'd come to Melbourne like once a year. It was kind of, everyone called the big smoke, like you're going down to Melbourne, like it's an amazing thing. And like, I used to find it pretty cool. Like, we used to come down here in excursions and stuff like that.
There is a lot going on.
Yeah, like, it was cool at the time. And then when I moved here, it was amazing. I loved it.
You were 17, 18?
Yeah, 17.
17.
Yeah.
And did you go to university?
Yeah, I finished school. So I was 17. I had an opportunity with cricket to come down here and study as well. And I've got an educational background, so I did Master of Education. But I would say the main reason I was here was for my cricket and for that opportunity. But then through that, you meet people, then you get a job, and then you kind of go down that line, I guess. But studied and all that.
So what was your first exposure then to a real Jew?
I would say, like, I still remember the first time I saw a Jew, I would say, in person was I was playing footy, but like a nearby football club. I used to drive through the Jewish area. I didn't know it was a Jewish area at that time, but I used to always drive through there like 3 or 4 times a week. And I started seeing Jews around, and then I got a bit of an understanding, like, okay, this must be a Jewish neighborhood. But yeah, and then from there, I would say it kind of leads into how we met each other. And then, like we said earlier, kind of I had one perception of what Jewish looked like, and then had another perception of what Jewish looked like. I was like, whoa, maybe there's Jews everywhere. I'm not too sure. But
We don't know who they are.
yeah, they're hidden. But that was kind of my first exposure, I would say.
How did you guys first meet then?
We met through, I used to work with one of Tair's friends. And then, funnily enough, I was living in the north, like Coburg area, with a couple of housemates.
An area that doesn't love us very much at the moment.
You could probably...
It's a lot of those.
You could probably take the area up there. But,
bikes, yeah.
Yeah. COVID hit, my 2 housemates moved out of the home we're living in, and then, it was up to me. It was like, do I stay and just cop the lockdowns, or do I go back home where everyone else was doing and just live?
Really rough time as well, I guess, because we had like the 5-kilometer radius. It was like 9 p.m. curfew. So me and my friend had moved into the share house. So practically, us 3 were in like, this big house in the north. And I guess in the country, those restrictions didn't apply. So you had the option of going home, didn't you?
I was like, Mum, Dad, I'm going to come back home. Like, there's no point being down here. There's no restrictions back home. I can still maybe go back to the country life a little bit and swim and run around and not have...
Cricket? Did you have cricket then?
Cricket. And cricket was still on there. Like, the things that I liked, and like friends were back there because it was a new thing. Like, everyone's going into lockdown. Let's move back home. But it was trendy.
Smart.
But I was like, nah, like, I'm here for a purpose. Like, I'm not just going to let it go. Like, I was probably 4 or 5 years into it then. I wasn't just going to let it all go just for the easy option, I guess. So, funnily enough, Hashem brought me a Jewish princess, and that was it.
In the good way. The good
course,
kind of...
Of course. But yeah.
When you met, did you have any knowledge of Judaism by that point? Or are you still...
No, I'm still like
idea?
Blank canvas.
Right.
And then obviously that's where...
So it just so happened to be that she was Jewish?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then, I don't know, I've always been like such a curious kid and always thought like, what's going on around the world. And, I'd always love to learn a little bit more about Judaism, but I just obviously never got the opportunity. But, I was lucky enough to stumble across and have an opportunity to expose myself to Judaism. And, that was it from there.
What are some of the first things that you were exposed to?
I would say first off, it was the community, the other Jewish friends, and then it was through to, as we progressed, I guess, but like mitzvot, and then you start to go to shul, and then you start to meet this rabbi, and then who passes you on to this rabbi, and then, you just start to gain that little Jewish connection, I guess, along the way. But, then it was right the way through to, this is what Jewish food tastes like, this is what it looks like, and then this is Shabbat, and then, it was just a flow-on effect from there. That was kind of, I would say, those little steps along the way that, I was just being exposed for some reason. I didn't know why I was being exposed, and I loved every step that I was taking as well. I was building a really strong, deep connection with Judaism, and it's such a like it's a warm feeling because, as a kid you have these curious thoughts or different connections with community and stuff like that. And then so far down the track of life, you start to get those connections back and you start to feel a sense of community, and all the stuff that you thought you lost is kind of coming back for a reason I didn't really know at the time. But yeah.
And did you grow up in a religious home or from a religious background?
So my dad's side was traditional, and then my mum's home was religious. So I kind of grew up a little bit mixed, I would say. And because where I was born and the school that I went to in Israel wasn't religious, so I was never as exposed to it as I am today. And when my family moved to Australia, they were actually really paranoid that I would lose that sense of Judaism. So then they practiced more, and then a few years later they practiced less. And we were always very traditional, always do Shabbat and kosher and things like that. But it was never to the extent, I guess, that it is today.
Mm-hmm.
And then in terms of, I guess, when I met Jack, I also didn't realize the impact that would have on my life in terms of my Judaism. Because it's funny, generally when you a lot of couples, when a Jewish person meets a non-Jew, a lot of the time the Jew kind of loses that in themselves. So for me, it kind of had the opposite effect, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah, I would say so.
Because I don't think I would have been as close as I am today if it wasn't for the journey. And I mean, it's obviously a very challenging journey and one that I'm definitely enjoying. But it's funny that it's had that effect, because I feel like, in another world, if, I met a Jew and I was with a Jew, I don't think I would have been as observant and as close as I am today.
Yeah, because you're going on the journey.
Oh yeah,
with him.
It's
very less loving.
Yeah. So I go to all the classes and learning again and practicing, and of course there are so many things that you don't know that you don't know what you don't know that I'm learning along the way.
Mm.
And you could probably say the same about your family, maybe since I started the conversion a little bit more as well, everyone's, I don't know what it is, but everyone's got this spark in them that
we've got a bit of a miracle, I think, in the family. Everyone's found their way back as well.
Yeah,
in the last few years.
Maybe started a trend.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
So when did the idea to actually convert, where did that come from? Because it's a big leap.
Yeah, it is big. It was kind of, I still remember the first time that Tair was right, I'm going to introduce you to my mum and dad there. And I knew a bit about Ashkenazi, Sephardi, Israeli, Aussies, Jew. I knew more then of what was going on. But
you were briefed properly.
I was fully briefed, yeah. And so it was right, you're going to walk into a Sephardi Israeli family household. It can be a little bit chaotic, it can be loud. It's not in a mean way. It all comes across in a nice way. Don't take anything to heart if something pops up out of everyone blue, because I know you're a stranger walking in, this little Aussie boy. Yeah, I was fully prepped, but I still remember the first time I walked in through the back door, up the stairs. It was Hanukkah, and the smell of the food was the first thing that was hit my nose with. Whoa, this Sephardi food, it smelled spicy.
What was it? Something fried?
Yeah, it was donuts fried. And then Emma was cooking, this fish, and there was chilies all over the place, and, there's loud everywhere and ruckusy, and everything was unorganized chaos, but everything was working. It was such a beautiful, warm kind of family home to walk into. And then, that was just obviously the first, I felt a lot of love from and support from Tair's family on that first front, but I guess the leap was more throughout my life. I was being exposed to things that I didn't really know why it was happening. As I said earlier, I was such a curious kid growing up, who's controlling the world, what's going on. But back in the country, I felt like I didn't really have anyone to have those conversations with. And then you come to Melbourne, and then you funnily enough, you're thrown in a situation where you do have those opportunities to have the conversations. And then, it's just along the way I was, meeting people, and then I was getting into communities, and then I started to go to shul, and I still remember the first time I went to shul. I was terrified, and I didn't know what to expect, and
What was that experience like?
beautiful. I absolutely loved it. Spirit Grove down the road, that was my first shul I went to. They're like, I didn't know which book to grab. I was a bit nervous, and this is the boys' side, and this is the girls' side, and I didn't know where to sit, and I was like sweating. I was like, well, this is a lot. But then they're like, grab this book. So I grabbed the book, and it was a Torah. And then, curious I am, I just wanted to open up and see what's inside and have a bit of a read before things got underway. And it was at Tair's family home. My nickname became Yaakov pretty early, as Jacob. And I opened it up, and the top, obviously I'm reading the English side because I had no idea what the right-hand side was, but opened it up and it said Yaakov, and I was by myself in the back corner. I was like, but that was the one thing that popped up. I was like, whoa, all these small little things are starting to pop up where, maybe someone's guiding me towards something. But I was exposed to those little things, I guess, throughout, and then it's just as time goes on, you get a connection, you fall in love with it. I started, to become obsessed with asking the questions to rabbis, because obviously I got to know the rabbis then. I'd ask Tair questions, I'd ask her family questions. It was the love and the connection towards why we do things, and Hashem and the Torah and the mitzvot, and it just felt right at the time, I guess, from when I did choose to convert. It's all happening for a reason.
I guess it's also one of those things that you don't realize how much progress you made until you look a few years back. And then you look back and you're like, oh, 2 years ago, I was a completely different person.
Yeah.
So I even think that, even with us and, officially we only started the program, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months ago.
Yeah, for sure.
But, we were practicing for 4 years before then. So I think it's more so looking back and go, even now I look back a year ago and I'm like, I was a completely different person with my Saturdays looked completely different. The environment that you surround yourself looks completely different. So it's kind of starting completely fresh and realizing how much progress you've actually made and how much you've changed as a person in that time.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do you know how much longer you anticipate?
Big question.
Yeah. A lot of people choose that. They ask me, how long's left? What's the update? And I don't know, to be honest. There's no timeline on it. There's no. At the minute, we're tracking along really well. We're starting module 4 content. If you're not familiar with the modules, but there's 8 modules. You go through it, and after each module, you get a test, and then they pass you, and then you go on to the next one. So I don't know.
You're almost halfway.
Yeah, nearly halfway.
That's
so
pretty good.
Yeah,
it's not even a year in.
Yeah, we're doing well.
I mean, I wonder, because my dad converted in the late 80s, early 90s, I think, back then. And it took him 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And 3 years is sort of what we say. They have to reject you twice and then whatever. I mean, choosing to convert Orthodox is quite a lot more of an uptake than, say, people that convert Reform or something, which I don't even know how long that takes, but probably not very long.
Yeah.
Was that something you consciously? Did you even know about other types of conversion, or you were just exposed to Orthodox community?
No, pretty much just to Orthodox. I knew about the other forms or other lines of how to go about it, but not for a minute. I thought it was Orthodox or kind of nothing. So, yeah.
Do you anticipate staying Orthodox?
Yeah, definitely.
For a long time?
Definitely, yeah. I think it's just a part of my life now. It's, I used to, back in the day, wake up and put the sports clothes on and go play cricket on a Saturday, but now it's chuck the white top on and go to shul. But it's just the two differences, I've lived on both sides. total both sides, where it's an Aussie lifestyle and then now like a religious observant, we keep Shabbat. I can't see myself going back to, and it's funny, like not many people get the opportunity to be on both sides, I guess, but I've had that opportunity where, you know, I've lived the standard life and then I've lived like an Orthodox Jewish life, like all the way, like Jewish life. I wouldn't go back for a heartbeat.
What was the reaction of your family and friends back home, friends here?
Yeah, very strong. Like my mum and dad are like, if you're happy, we're happy.
Okay.
They're quite simple. It's a country family, simple family. They would obviously have questions in that and those stuff pop up, but then I think it's just like, you know, it's your life, you're happy, we're here to support. So I'm very lucky on that sense that, you know, I've got a loving, supporting family instead of, because you hear about it like the opposite, people get the total opposite response. So no, I've been lucky.
Yeah, I think it's also if your family is like more religious, from a certain religious background, there's more of a chance that they'll have an opinion.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So yeah, you're very lucky. Have you met all the family?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I've been up there in the country with the cows. I mean, like even to me, it's still pretty amazing. We've gone back there so many times, but every time we go back, I'm like, oh my gosh, like you used to wake up to the sound of like chickens and cows mooing, and there's cows in the backyard, and there was a horse there at some point. And it's a completely different, it's a beautiful, peaceful life, but it's a completely different life. And I've definitely had the chance to meet everyone.
So it's been, is it 8 months? 8, 9 months?
Yeah, roughly.
Officially.
Yeah.
I'm officially
But like
4.5 years.
Yeah, I've been like Shabbat dinners, shuls, exposed to it a lot throughout that time, but then I'd say officially October. I think it was October last
It also takes time to actually get accepted into the program.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
Really? What was that process?
Yeah. So you have to, it's like applying for a job. It's like an online form. Like you put all your details in and
your referral,
your passport, like the bet in, You get the referrals, and your referrals have to write their letter of why they should accept you. And then from there you get, I still remember I was at work and I had to duck out for a quick lunch break, and I had a Zoom meeting with a rabbi they've never heard of, never seen. That was kind of a first off like introduction, like,
and he's like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, he's pretty much like what are you doing? Like,
are you sure you want this?
Who are you? Like,
life is so much easier, you know.
It was like,
you can eat whatever you like, play cricket.
It was like popping all these like questions at me. I was, firing back answers, and it's just a basic conversation. It's pretty much introducing ourselves. And then he's like, "Yep, no worries. I'm gonna accept you into the program. We don't usually do this straight off the bat, but I'm happy for you to get through the next stage." And I was like, "Yeah, perfect." I didn't know what the next stage looked like, but and then they get you in for the bet in, get you in for like an interview process. So you go into the bet in here in Melbourne, 3 rabbis up the front. It's like I was going for a big job. And then, they were the same, firing questions. What are you doing? What's your level of religiousness? How much you know about Jewish people? Do you know what you're getting yourself into? And then
going back.
Yeah, that's right. Like, and then they go through the curriculum of what you learn, and then what's the expectations, and after that it's just all right, you're in. Let's start. And then you get a list.
Teacher.
You get a list.
Pick a mentor.
Yeah, a list of rabbis that you can pick from to be a teacher, and then you have a mentor as well. So we go to classes. We were twice a week. We went to once a week, and then mentors. Obviously, someone you just ask questions to, and
mentors you through the process and guides you.
Yeah, that's right. It's like a second voice of a teacher and a mentor, I guess, to have 2, not opinions, but 2 voices, I would say. Yeah.
So throughout the process so far, have there been anything that you've had to do or had to learn that you were like, oh, I don't know, maybe this is too much? Be doubting your decision?
No, I wouldn't say too much, but there's obviously
bizarre.
Yeah, like there's things that
not everything always makes sense.
Yeah, and at the start you're like, do a bracha on a certain food in this like certain way, and you're like, but it's just I'm just eating the same, like I'm just eating food. Why we have to say things
a blessing
twice, like, or say it in a different way, or say one thing first before the other thing first, or like there was things I was like, well, like I was exposed to personally. I was like, this is really different, and I don't know how I'm gonna remember it. How am I gonna keep doing it? Am I gonna forget it? Am I gonna be in public setting? I say it wrong, and then everyone laughs. Like, I don't know. There's a lot to like there's just a lot to take in, and then once you take it in, you've also got to apply it to your life as well. So for early days, you're like, whoa, like there's blessings to tie your shoelace. There's so many different things that the everyday person would.
Or was it a way to tie your shoelace?
Yeah, or a way to tie something like that.
Yeah, one side before the other. I even remember, like for me, and there are so many things like that when I found out, I think I was like 10 or something, that you can't carry things on Shabbat without the arrow, without string. I was shocked. Like I was in disbelief that a rule like that,
a little bit of string,
and like that comes from someone that has born in Israel, has a Jewish background. Like I just couldn't believe that was a thing, and I'm sure that there are so many other things. I don't know if anything comes to mind, but I guess it's one of those things where you're not always going to. Like, it's not always going to make sense. And that's fine.
Yeah. But, like, the understanding of, then you get the background of why you do things and the importance behind it, and you do it in this way instead of this way. Like, as time goes on and then you start to practice it yourself, then, you get that understanding. Where early days, it's very, like, not intimidating, but it's quite a scary thing to be like, this is what you have to start to do. And then you're like, but you don't even know what it means, or you don't even know how to do it properly.
I feel like you also have to be careful, because I think, from a teacher's perspective, if you first expose someone to those like extreme things, like, ripping toilet paper on Shabbat, or like werewolf, and like all those things that are like, I wouldn't say are extreme, but they're a bit more like more observant. Like that's not the first step. That's maybe like the 200th step.
Yeah.
And I feel like that a lot of the time can discourage people from taking things on, because they go, okay, no, this is too much for me. You kind of have to just...
Do they usually start with those kind of details?
No,
not really.
No, they don't. But I think when you learn about something like that, a lot of the times you can go, okay, no, this is too much. It's like, very small things that don't necessarily make sense. So I think we're very lucky in a sense of like, I've got my family, you have me, like, so you've got some guidance in terms of like what to start with. And I think the most important thing is just kind of, focusing on today.
How do you reconcile with those things that don't make sense, or maybe don't even have an answer? Because I know a lot of Jews struggle with this all the time.
Yeah.
Myself included.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess that's what a good mentor's for as well, like someone who's been through it. My mentor's Rabbi Glassman at St. Kilda Shul. So top man, top bloke, you can ask any question to him. He'll give you the answer. He'll give you, any level of answer, because obviously he knows a lot about it, but explaining something to me, for example, to a simple level, to still have enough understanding about it's important as well, because, there's a lot of people, a lot of teachers out there that their knowledge is very high, but then to teach someone with no knowledge, if they go on about a certain topic and they understand it, but for me, I've got no idea what you're talking about. But Robert Glassman's like the perfect example of asking a question, and he'll answer it on the most simple level, but enough for you to understand what he means and to help you through the process. I think that's important.
Also, like for those things, I guess, that make less sense, the way I like to think about it is, I don't know, like for me personally, and I'm sure for a lot of people, the person that I was 5 years ago is a completely different person to who I was today. So, your knowledge and your understanding and your intelligence and wisdom develops over time. So, things that might not make sense to you now could make sense to you later on. And I guess that's where, if you've got full belief and emunah, like you know that there are, a lot of things don't have an explanation, and you just take that on. So I think you definitely need to stay curious and ask the questions, but also make peace with the fact that not everything is, shown to us.
And it's important to like
Yeah.
build those habits, because like if someone tells you to do something and then you just do it once here and there, like you're never going to get a full understanding or the full reasoning or the full meaning to why you do it. But if you build a habit, then it's just, then you can learn the next habit, and you just, without even knowing, you're slowly building a Jewish life without you even comprehending that you're starting to do it. So I think over the time, like being around Tair and being around her family, I was doing things that I would have never done as a kid, but like then
Becomes natural.
yeah, it just becomes natural
Yeah.
based off off a habit. So like washing before bread, like I wouldn't know what that meant 4 or 5 years ago, but then now you do it every Shabbat or you do it every time you eat bread. It's a habit, and then it's just a flow-on effect from there. Like you start to learn and do these
Yeah.
things.
I would say though, you don't want to get to a point where it's just habit.
Of
So
course.
I know that there's a lot of religious Jews that I've known and that I grew up with, and I often feel like people do stuff just because that's how they've always done it, or it's just a force of habit. And sometimes you don't even know why they're doing it. So don't lose
Yeah,
the meaning behind it.
of course.
That's ultimately the important
Most
part.
important.
Do you have any plans? I mean, you mentioned you're trying to go to Israel or something.
Yeah, we're going.
Try and get there.
Yeah, well, we're going in mid-June
Yeah.
for
Just a
3
month.
weeks. Yeah,
A month
so
away. So exciting.
that's just around the corner, which is exciting. We've obviously been a few times now. Last year we went twice, and then
Mm-hmm.
this year.
Can I just say I've never seen Jack this happy in my life than when he landed in Tel Aviv. Yeah.
As soon as like
It's just celebrating.
I've over the time I built this like deep love for hummus and pita, and like and the first thing like, and you've done
Passion is shining through.
and
So the food is what drew you in. Yeah, I got it.
And I still remember like getting off the plane. I was so excited. I was playing Israeli music in my headphones. Like I haven't listened to English music in years. Like I get in my car, it's just top 50 shuffle play on my Adam. But I still remember like getting off the plane, and then I was like, okay, do I have to put into maps like where's the closest hummus shop? And I get off the plane and I get my bag and I look left, and there was like this massive hummus bar. It was like 8 a.m. and I was like, I'm running there, I'm getting it. I was like sitting there smashing a pita at 8 a.m.
So when was the first time you went to Israel?
What, a year ago?
Yeah, July last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
Great time to go.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. And
Yeah.
I feel like even I was a little bit on edge, like in terms of like, we're still in the middle of war today. So, you're always looking over your shoulder, making sure it's all okay. But I think the second time that we went was just a few months later because my brother got married. You kind of just forget about it.
Yeah, the
You
first
just
time.
like live life. You're like, this is worth it. This is such a great place.
Yeah, the first time I was like, you're a bit cautious, what's going on. Then the second time I was like, nah, like, I love this place. Like, I'm not even going to let
You went off on your own one of the mornings.
Oh, I was like,
The morning of the wedding, it was chaos. We were all trying to get ready. And Jack is like, I'm going to the shuk.
and we were like in Jerusalem. I was like, I'm going to go for a walk. And like, I just went for a walk by myself. I was looking around. There's some soldiers standing at the Malawach bar, and I was going to buy one as well because I was hungry. And then like I bought them a Malawach, and they're like, whoa. They're like, whoa, where are you from? I was like, Australia. And they're like, what are you doing here? I was like, no. I was like,
So many Aussies in Israel.
yeah, I know, but like me, like a country, I was trying to talk like country Aussie, and he's like,
Did you
"Whoa."
dial up your Aussie accent?
Yeah, a little bit. They're like, whoa, there's crocodiles and kangaroos there. I was like, yeah, like that's,
my backyard.
yeah, I was like, that's Australia.
Wasn't that your screening questions at the? Because so I go through a different spot because not an Israeli passport. So poor Jack has to go on his own.
Yeah.
I still remember I was by myself, and I walked in there, and they like prompted me a bit at the start. Like, they're gonna ask you questions, like,
Can I ask about Hanukkah? Right?
yeah, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. And I was like, it was 4 a.m. and I was walking towards this Israeli guy. Like, I tried to pick the happiest looking one, and I went straight to him, and like, I was petrified, I was shaking, I was sweating. I was like, what's he gonna ask me here? Like,
I feel like the women are scarier. Like the female
Yeah, I know.
soldiers at the airport.
attitude.
Yeah.
that was before Elal kept me for like an hour and just interviewed me before, like, by myself. I was petrified, and then I was like, what am I going to get when I get there? And then I looked at him, he looked at me, we did the head nod, And then I
He's like,
passed
you're
my
Jewish, you're not Jewish.
I
What
pa-
are you doing here?
I passed my Aussie passport to him, and he just looked at me. He's like, do you know Crocodile Dundee? And I was like, the last question I would have thought what was going to come my way. I was like, yeah, like, of course. Like, hey, he's Australian too. Go have fun. And he just threw my passport back at me. And I was like, oh, what do I do here? I just grabbed my passport and ran.
Too many young Aussies in Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
That's fine. Did you know anything about Israel before you met any Jews?
No, not really. Like,
Had you even heard of it? Like,
yeah, heard of it. Yeah, because like Jerusalem, you hear about it at school a little bit.
yeah.
Like, I still remember when I met Tair, she was like pointing it out on the map. Like, here it is here. This is the Dead Sea. This is where I'm from. But yeah, not so much, but a little bit.
so what was that experience like then? Landing in Israel for the first time as someone on the way to becoming a Jew?
Yeah, like,
You weren't converting. I mean, like, it was your intention, but we hadn't started.
yeah, we didn't officially start there,
Right.
but I still remember. I don't reckon you won't find it anywhere else. Like a country that loves one another the same as like a family. You see on the street, everyone's helping each other, or they're in your business with your coffee order because they want the best for you. Like, you go to the supermarket and there's young men helping elderly women, like scanning groceries, like you just wouldn't see it anywhere, and you wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
You might see it every now and then in Australia, but I don't know. Everyone's so warm and loving, and like it was just such a big family and and then that comes with the people, I guess. Like if you have a conversation with an Israeli person, you get the warm, you get the loving. You don't kind of get the. I'm not saying Australians stand back, but like you walk past someone on the street in Israel, they might say hello to you. Like here, it's like you turn away, you just want to get on with your business and live life a little bit. But yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
In the conversion process, is there like a module where you learn about Jewish history, or like it's like, here is your trauma, not Plato. There you go. Welcome to the party.
Yeah, like you learn the family tree, I guess, like all the names and all the way through, and then right the way through the destruction of the Second Temple. I would say it's probably one of the hardest parts for me, especially like I've never heard of it before. All these names are popping up that I can't even pronounce it. Like Rivka, like all these names that you just wouldn't hear in Australia.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Just in Hebrew as well.
yeah, and like the Hebrew.
Even if you heard of it, like Rebecca, like,
Yeah, that's right.
putting the two and two together.
Yeah, but
up to modern history, like we're up to the destruction of the Second Temple. So
Did they go all the way through? Did they go to like Zionism and
I don't know. Actually.
Israel?
We're not up to that just
I
yet.
don't think so, but I mean,
Interesting.
Yeah, they might.
you know quite a bit about that already.
Yeah.
Did you, after October 7th, I know a lot of Jews, including myself, learned a lot about the history of the region and Jewish history just because
you had to.
you just have to know it now, you have to be prepared for any question anyone will ask you.
Yeah.
Did you guys go through that
As
as well?
I personally, I don't like growing up in Israel. I've kind of always learned about that. And the history and the land and the people and things like that. So I guess for me, of course, I've had to kind of deepen my knowledge as time went, and having arguments with people on Instagram and on social media, and writing each other essays and angry messages and things like that. I've definitely gone through that, and I think we all have a story of that. But yeah, I guess. Yeah, I got to the point where I, developed more knowledge about that area. Did you?
Yeah, I was probably the opposite. Like, I had to upskill to learn about these things because, a few years back, I couldn't even point it out on the map. But then all of a sudden, the messages and the Instagram finds of like, you're genocide and you're taking over the land, and then I was like sitting back going like, which land? Like I better do my study on it and stuff like that. But like it was a foreign thing to me that I never heard of, this conflict in the Middle East. But
and even for people where it's not foreign, like even for me, and you were even saying you've had to kind of deepen your knowledge in that area, even if you do know a little bit, because it's so complex and there's so much to it, and there's so many dates and numbers and people and events that you have to remember. It's so much more complex than people think. So even someone that has a lot of knowledge in that space still, I think, had to go through that process, reading up and finding like reliable sources that are not just TikTok, which I know for a lot of people.
It's not reliable.
Yeah,
Not reliable.
Perfect the information of paper. Like if people watch a 30-second video and then they form their entire opinion about the conflict in the Middle East based off that one video. So I think, really important to do your research. But I guess like for me personally, because, I've got family there and like I lived it, and, my dad was in the army and got friends that in the army. I kind of knew it from a much closer place, as well as researching externally as well.
Yeah. I mean, since you started putting your life online, what kind of response have you had from Instagram or people? Have you had anti-Semitism? Have you experienced it?
Like heaps. Like, I'll start from the bad, but like there's been plenty of horrible messages and, comments and name calling and like all this stuff that half the stuff I didn't even know what they're talking about. And it's just...
Was it related to if you posted something about Israel, like if you're in Israel, or even just like Jewish content?
Your very first video, from what I remember, that did really well, that I think got to like 20 or 30,000 followers, was, I think you were saying like when you found Judaism and you found your home. And, oh my God, I think there's like 2,000 comments on there that are just like baby killer free.
European moving to Israel, you're going to take over as well.
So I think there's like 2,000 comments, and I remember like you were getting notifications like every 2 minutes. You'd get something else. I think at some point you just develop really thick skin and you're just like, oh, it's just another.
Oh, it's like now, go for it. Say as much bad stuff as you want. All I'm looking for is the good. Like, and that's why I take the time to like go through and like all the positive comments and try and comment back to people as well. And then like the personal messages and that I've been getting is like amazing and endless. Like, you could scroll and it's just endless. Like, and there's people saying that, I haven't been as close as I should be to my Judaism, but now watching your videos, like, you're starting to inspire a lot of people. I'm starting to put my tefillin on. I'm starting to go to shacharit in the morning, like when I've got a spare moment. I've got like school kids see me on the street sometimes and like stop and like, whoa, you guy from Instagram?
Really?
And saying like, whoa, I'm a bit nervous. And then like 15 minutes later, they'll message me and say like, hi, it's Benji. I just met you on the street. Like, I just wanted to say,
Jewish kids?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, all different ages are reaching out saying like, well done, you're inspiring people. And I guess that's what I want to do. Like, I'm not doing it for me, like, look at me, I'm converting. I want to like get the spark in everyone, because everyone's got a Jewish soul. Everyone's got a little bit of spark, but I think it's not, sometimes people lose that spark, but I think it's important to cherish what you've got and make sure that you look after it. And if I can get the spark back a little bit, like, it's, it's a positive for me. So,
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here and for sharing your story and your life.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
wish you luck.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
And almost welcome to the tribe, but you'll
Really?
get there.
We'll get there.
Right.
Hopefully the next time we record, we'll be there.
We'll be there. Baruch Hashem.